All right, so that's how it looks. Now, once again, you can make your blades in some more, cover those holes, but I'm not worried about it. So now you take out the next two screws. How do you know which screws work for the blade you're on? Well, for this fan, it's the two screws that's further apart. See, I don't know if you can tell, but you got two that look close together. Then you got two with a nice little space between them. For this blade, the ones with the space between them is the ones we're using each blade. All right. So now I take out that one and that one for the next blade. Okay. Last blade. So remember, you want to tighten one screw at a time. One screw at a time. You tighten this one. When it get a little tight, you feel tight, you go to this one. When that one gets a little tight, feel tight, go back to that one. And just keep going back and forth. Don't try to tighten one side to its fullest without the other one being with it. Okay? So just go back and forth for each blade. Back and forth. All right? Go ahead and tighten that up, then we'll be on the light. While I'm still up here with these fans or the blades, I do want to point out the one of the reasons I didn't want to move the blade all the way is I was hoping by being a little further out, it helped cool more of the area. So it's like a wider space, hopefully, versus bringing them in is kind of making the fan small per se. And like that with the hose there, it doesn't look too bad. I'm not worried about that, especially as the fans start turning and whatnot. I mean, that doesn't look too bad. But I also didn't want to unloosen three screws versus two. They're pretty snugged, so I don't think that third screw matters if it's up there connected to this or not. I don't think it matters. But of course, I'll keep an eye on it as time goes. Even with some fans, these things tend to loosen up. So no matter what, you want to watch your blades. If they start to loosen, just go ahead, take the time to tighten them up. All right. So now that you think that they're all snug, you can do one more pass over for all, what is it, 10 blades, 10 screws, just to make sure that they're pretty tight. All right. Okay, so now we're on the light. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the light. And this will be the last thing before we turn it on and see what happens. So let me climb back on the ladder and we'll get back to it. Okay, so I wanted to show you how to open this thing because you have to open it. All right, I did get on the ladder, but I have to climb back down. So what you want to do, you can put your finger on the inside there, that little hole, and hold the end of it, this white part, and then just take your other hand. Let's see if I can do it. Y'all forgive me if you can't see. Forgive me if my face in it. But you just turn it. Which way you turn it? That way. And it should come off like so. All right. Blow that styrofoam out. Then you have just two connections there. All right. Let's get back up on the ladder. Of course, you're going to have to take out the 4 screws to screw in there. and then you just cap that back on. All right, let's climb up the ladder. Okay, so of course, you know, you have to take out the 4 screws first before you put your light up. The wire that's with the light, you want to run through the hole, okay, and have it coming out of there. All right, then you're gonna take and connect the wires. You have a big one and a small one. You can tell the difference. The big go to the big, the small go to the small. And then once you do that, you start inserting your 4 screws. All right. And I tried to hook the big wire up to the big one, and that didn't work. So it's a small one to a big one, okay? Small one to a big one with the wires. Then you just put your screws in. So with the wires, it's a small one to a big one. Then you just put your screws in. Remember, don't snug them all one at a time. Just tighten it till it get a little tight all the way around. Then once you make it back, you start snugging. All right. Okay. After you get them snug, you cap your light off, and then you're ready to test it. Get your remote. Make sure your batteries are in there. Turn your power switch on. And there it is. The light is working. Let's see if the fan up, and the fan is working. Okay, let's see if we turn the light off. And the fan is still working. We in this thing, y'all. And now we have a ceiling fan. Yeah, you never know what you can do if you never try to do something. Remember, Pat Man told you that.